What's up, Sliders? This is the DM podcast. This is your host, Darian. This is
Matthew.
And today we're doing The Black Phone. It's a
Phone.
horror movie that just came out this year. We decided to see it on because it was on the HAWKE, and it was for streaming services because they recently, what Peacock has been doing is they've been having a lot of horror movies recently, or just movies in general, and they've been having them like go in theaters, but only for like a month, and it'll come out, or sometimes it'll just be a double feature. It'll come out at the same time. So we saw it was there. I was like, Matt, for our October run, we want to do like a bunch of horror movies. It's not gonna be Spooktober because that's already copyright claim and all that stuff. We'll think of a name sometime soon.
Disney ruined it.
Yeah, Disney ruined it. So we'll think of a name eventually. So whenever we think of that, there you go. But we're planning to do 4 horror movies in October.
Yeah.
It's 4. Yeah, we got 4 on the horizon. We're not gonna say what they are now. I know we can tell you what the last one is. It's gonna be that new Halloween movie because it comes out on Peacock. It'd be easy. I don't think we'll be able to edit this one. Edit the Halloween one, but this one, I think we'll get a few in. I'm not sure how it's going to work because I'm not sure if it's still in theaters yet. I would have to look because I think it might be still playing, but I'm not too confident because it's been a bit since this movie came out. Let's go ahead and get started. Wait, how you feeling today, Matt? You feeling good?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
How did you feel about this movie?
Yeah.
I'll make a synopsis, I guess.
Yeah. So you want to go in depth, like
No,
deep,
just
overall?
give it like overall.
Yeah.
feel.
Overall, I feel like I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I think if
The way they portrayed the
don't
characters
want to say
the way
too
they portrayed
much.
the characters
Yeah.
and how they ended it. It was a good ending. In it.
Yeah, if we had to make like, because usually we don't have like spoilers, but this one's horror movies. They usually someone dies, someone doesn't, stuff like that. So there's gonna be this gonna be like the spoiler free portion. I would say you should go it's on Peacock. Peacock's only $5 a month. You should go watch it. If you want to go on a cheap Tuesday movie ticket, go ahead and buy it then too, because it's honestly worth the $5 that I pay a month for this in this movie alone. The characters in this movie, all of them. I don't even think there's a bad character per se in this movie,
No.
and all of them play their parts really well. And you genuinely, I was thinking, like horror movies, I usually just think, oh, maybe it'll be a little fun, but this one was better than fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But don't go into too much detail. The villain's great. There's young kids really carrying this movie, and they do it well. Those kids are probably like 12, 13.
Yeah. They're good too. They nailed their roles. Really.
Yeah.
Really.
We got what we'll say Finn. Finn's like the main kid character. Finn and Gwen, I think, carry this movie, or like just they're the major characters, but they don't feel like 12-year-old kids in this movie.
They feel like they've been around this once or twice before.
Exactly. And so go ahead where you watch it. This is now gonna be the spoiler, I guess, but we're gonna go in more detail before we start. The director of this movie is Scott Derrickson. Matt, I don't know if you know what he did before, but he did. I know him from Sinister. You ever seen the Sinister movies?
No, I haven't.
Without going too much detail, because those are really good as well. At least, like when I was like, because that movie was made, I think like 9 years ago now. Ethan Hawke is actually the main character in that movie, and he's basically like without going too much detail, he's a disgruntled. He's basically a book writer, but he hasn't made a good book in over 10 years. So he goes to this house where these people got murdered before, so he can try to get a story. Yeah, that's basically the best way to put it. But I remember seeing that movie the first time, and that it was so creepy because it's such like. Yeah, you should watch that movie too. Maybe we'll watch it on the podcast eventually. But it's such a I was creeped out as a kid when I was younger. I was like 12 then, but I was creeped out as fuck. Since the second one's not as good, but they're both really good in their own rights. He also did Doctor Strange, not the new one, the old one, and the old one I think is better. They're both good, but the old one is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Period. So. Watch that one too. Scott Derrickson really goes. I think he's doing the new Flash movie as well. We don't do superhero movies here unless they're one shots. That's already confirmed, Matt. I'm sorry.
One shots.
Like one shots would be like the Batman or the Joker, or just like it can't be like MCU. We won't do any MCU. At least I don't plan on it. Yeah, just I don't know. That's oversaturated, so I don't really do MCU movies unless it's like really catches our eye. If that makes sense, Matt.
It doesn't, but I'll let you do you.
Yeah, well. Maybe we can discuss it. If people want to see it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We're the people persons.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So let's get into it. The main characters. Actually, how does the start? So how it starts is It's built in 1978, and it's where is it? 1978 in Denver.
North Denver. Yes,
The first shot we see is baseball. It's a baseball field.
Yeah, baseball field.
And we think this is the main character at first, right? It's an Asian kid. His name's Bruce. That we learn later on. And Bruce is batting up, and then we got Finn on the mound. Finn throws like this 100-mile. It's like he was looking like Jacob DeGrom out there.
Yeah, dude, the fastball. Was sick.
The first pitch fastball. He got him swinging. Did he even get him swinging? I think I was looking.
Yeah, it was looking.
It was a looking, but that was straight down the chute. Like no one's hitting.
He did swing.
He did swing. Yeah, but it was straight down the chute. That was a 95-mile easy.
That was, I can't tell you if it was a 2-seam or 4-seam, but it was nasty.
It was freaking nasty. And then he throws like, I think it's a slider.
Yeah, it was a slider sinker, one or the other.
Yeah, for Scott Derrickson do a baseball movie, and I'll go watch out for those two scenes alone. He throws a slider, and then Bruce hits that out of the park. That's at least going 300 feet.
Walk off.
Yeah, walk off homer. The worst. Yeah, it's a walk off homer because they leave straight away. Yep. It's insane. And then so. At first, we think the main character is Bruce, right?
Yeah, because it's just that shot when he's on his bicycle.
Yeah, he's going on his bicycle, and then how does it go after that?
He goes in the van.
The van pops up. So it's the first time we see the van. It's like this black van, don't go in vans, obviously.
It's a creeper van.
It's a creeper van, and I think it's like a magic thing. I forgot to see what it said on the van, but I think it's like a magician thing, sorta. And I don't think we see Bruce get captured, but we do see
It implies it.
Yeah, it implies. Oh, there's someone here. Get ready for.
Because then it shoots to that like the little montage type deal where it starts showing all them quick scenes.
Oh yeah, because it shows the title cards and it shows
the missing flyer.
It shows the missing flyer, so you kind of get what the movie is going towards. And then after that, is it go back to Finn?
Yes, he goes back to Finn, and he's getting the parents, right?
Oh yeah, the kitchen scene. Yeah, he's with his
sister.
The parents, Matt. There's only one parent. It's his dad. I forget his name. I forgot to write his. I think I have his name somewhere in the notes.
I remember there's Jerk.
Jerk.
There's a jerk in every movie, and he's that one. He kind of redeems himself.
He kind of redeems himself a little, but we'll see as we go on.
But he's sitting there, and he's hungover, I guess.
Yeah, he's a little.
Faces in the newspaper.
Because he works. I don't know. He works exactly, but he probably works a job where he works a lot of hours.
I think construction, probably.
Yeah. Either way, this in the 70s. Everybody was on drugs or at least stereotypical. Yeah, everybody was on coke and everybody was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
So there's the kitchen scene just talking about what's happening, right?
Yeah. I think the big vocal point of that scene was when Gwen kept talking. She was like, sorry. And then when Finn was loud, he said sorry. So they both kept apologizing. Yeah,
you kind of felt like there was tension in the room because I guess he didn't want to hear like distractions or loud noises.
When she shut the microwave, he's like, you could tell him he gripped the newspaper a little tighter.
Yeah,
because he didn't like the noise.
Yeah, because he was like, I guess probably it's just you don't want to make noise in the house, which is it's rude, but I think he's meant to be over exaggerated in that way, Yeah. And then we go into the.
They start running outside, and they see the missing kid flyer on the tree, I guess.
Yeah.
It was like a little board.
Yeah, it was a little board. I forget there was something else on there. I think it was like a little dog, too.
Yeah, a little cat.
Yeah. It was some little animal I saw.
Yeah. So then it skips to the school.
Yeah, it skips to the school, and then we see a fight happening, right?
Yes.
Between Robin and Moose. And at first I didn't catch it, but I was like, so Robin is this Mexican kid, and then we got Moose, who...
Robin's probably my favorite character.
Yeah, Robin I think is one of my favorites too. And I'm not sure who my favorite character is. Maybe we'll do that at the end, but at least for me. But Robin they're like all huddled up like a school fight would be.
Yeah.
And then
fight.
And then Robin just freaking goes ham. He's like Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. He's just throwing elbows and just like the blood just starts dripping up his face. Yeah, it was insane. But I was like, I felt a little uncomfortable, but I've seen it before, and I was like, oh yeah, beat his ass. Because I thought at first Robin was like the
bad guy.
The bad guy. I was like, shit, Finn's about to get his shit rocked.
Yeah.
But not in the case. Robin was the good one because he said, and then Gwen goes, she's like, well, shouldn't you be happy about it? He's like, yeah, but you beat him up pretty hard. Like, I know he bullied me, but he shouldn't be beating me up like that,
Yeah.
And then it goes to the bathroom scene.
Yeah, so Finn sees them guys. He's running after school got out. So he's running to the bathroom. And he goes into the bathroom stall. And he puts his feet on the toilet. And these 3 boys walk in.
Yeah, these 3 boys all tough or whatever. And
Like, Finn
ran because he wished he didn't see him. And then...
Yeah. So he goes in. Finn's hiding on the toilet. And they come in. They're like, Finn, we know you're in here. So then they go, and Finn comes down off the toilet and comes out to the...
Yeah, he's ready to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, and then Robin walks in.
Yeah, and then all of them just kind of just look, and they're like...
Because he goes, what's up, Finn?
Yeah.
And they just saw that fight earlier in the day, so it's like, oh, shoot, Finn's here, or Robin's here.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with him. He's like Batman now.
Yeah, so they talk about... He goes and he basically says, if you mess with Finn, I'm going to mess with you.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's exactly what he says. And then
they all ran.
Yeah, they all ran. And then we see the detectives for the first time. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah, we see the detectives.
Gwen got called to the principal's office.
Yeah, Gwen got called to the principal's office because she was talking about black balloons. Yeah. I guess at school because she has these dreams, right? These dreams that she apparently got from her mother at a point. I guess she just has like this genetics, yeah. What's the word? What's the best way to put it? She kind of has these dreams where she can see, I guess, the future. She's kind of like That's So Raven in a way.
Yeah, the future, or she can see
bad things.
Yeah, she can see what's about to happen. I guess that's basically the future.
Yeah, I guess bad things. I guess it's not the future
or she can see cries for help. If you look at all of them. All the scenes that she saw, it was somebody needing help. They were all asking for help.
Yeah, you're right. And also, like when she was praying to Jesus, she kept saying, "Well, we'll get about later on." She just send me a clue. Jesus, like, why you're not helping me at all? When he gave her this gift when she was young, at least in the movie.
Yeah, I think they were all cry for helps.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention. I know it's not a good way to start, but the black phone is actually. I wanted to mention this even though I didn't say it earlier. The Black Phone was actually, a short story from Stephen. You know Stephen King is, right? Yeah. So Stephen King's son wrote a short story of the Black Phone. He had a book, a bunch of short stories, and Black Phone was one of them. And I remember reading it, and I guess in this one, he's more like a creepy clown in the book than what he is in this movie. Because in the book, he's more of a creepy clown. He says he's like fat and all this. He says fat. He has like red balloons, I think.
Yeah. See, that would make sense to your magic standpoint too.
Yeah.
With the van, they said magic something.
Yeah.
Because the clown magic, that's what they do.
Yeah. So, but there's still a Black Phone element. But I only read the first 3 pages because I thought there was, and I was gonna buy it for like 10 pages of a short story. Because, like I said, it's a short story. Yeah. But I guess he's a little different, which it shows that it doesn't matter who the person is. You do something wrong, you're still creepy at the end of the day. You know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention that even though it's kind of like in the middle, they're not black balloons in the book. And I just wanted to say that I didn't know it was based off a short story until later on. So Scott Derrickson adapted that, and then he put this movie on there. And then after that, we go back home with he's watching a rated R movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Finn's watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre because Robin, I think, was talking about rated R movies earlier because he had a little. He also had like a. I forget what they are. They're famous dudes that smoke a lot of weed. I know they maybe had a show or something or a movie. I'm just uncultured. Matt's uncultured. We don't know what the show is, but I seen that shirt plenty of times at Walmart, so I seen this before. So don't get on my ass.
Get on him in the comment section.
Yeah. So he's watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but he has it like lower, so he doesn't. Yeah. So that don't hear. And then Gwen, he says, why they go to my job, Gwen? Why do detectives go to my job about these black balloons? Your visions ain't real. Because I guess he knows about the visions because of the mom, of course. The mom will get him up to later. But she's like, the visions ain't real. And then he goes and he like, he like spanks her, right?
Yeah, with the belt. Just
and
repeatedly.
Yeah, and what'd she say?
She keeps denying it. She keeps saying that she saw them black balloons.
Yeah.
In the dreams. So he kept beating her until she basically said, dreams aren't real. Yeah. That's what he wanted her to say. Dreams aren't real.
Yeah, but she turns around and is like, my dreams ain't real, like owning up, and then she grabs his bottle and drops it on the floor. Like, yeah, he's like the $8 bottle of tequila. I know I said $8. Maybe I just wrote that in my notes, or it was actually in the movie. I just wrote it when I was writing. But this scene, I was watching an interview, this scene was actually improvised by her. Like when he was by him. I think when he was spanking her, like he was made it more vicious, and she like took it like a champ. Not like actually, he didn't actually spank her like that, but like they improvised a scene to where she it's actually her that improvises it, where she like goes to him and she's more like sturdied up, like this is my like in my dreams ain't real, to like step up to him. So it's crazy, like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, however old she is can improvise like that. Because I did like improv like when I was younger, and improv is really hard, Matt. You just got to get something and go with it. So she improvised that scene and killed it, because it made it feel like she's standing up to her dad, even though she's the one getting spanking. Like the dad don't feel like he won in that situation, even though like the dad doesn't mean it in that way, but you know. And then I think they get food, right? And I had to mention this shot. He opens the fridge, right, Matt? And he has freezer? It's freezer burn.
Yeah, dude. It's
like,
it's just
like,
ice frost.
It's just ice frost on all the food. Like they haven't touched that freezer in ages. I guess they only eat canned goods there. And also they have a nice fireplace. I think that might come up later, but it's a really nice house. So this guy does a good job. He just probably does a lot of the drugs. And then the next thing we see is Robin, right?
Yeah, he walks up to the van.
He's walking.
It was a weird van. It was a weird scene because he just walked straight to the van.
Yeah, I think he was walking. He walked out of somewhere, maybe out of a fight or something. But we see Robin, and he's walking, and then he sees the van, and he's like...
He just walked to it, though. It was a weird scene. That was a weird scene.
Yeah, it was weird how it was directed.
Yeah.
But I think it's more like, hey, he's getting grabbed. Like, Robin's getting grabbed.
I think maybe they had to cut some run time, so like, hey, we'll just show him getting... He's the next one to get taken.
Yeah, and then... everyone's looking for Robin. They get a
police
call.
Are searching.
Yeah, I think is Gwen at Robin? No, I think they're at the house. Yeah, they get a call at the house, and they're like, "Hey, Robin's missing." And then,
he asked the dad.
Yeah.
He asked the dad, "Do you know a guy named Robin?" So
and
then he goes and asks
the
Finn.
last name, yeah.
And he goes and asks Finn, "Hey, do you know a Robin?" And then his dad starts like, he didn't want to tell Finn, so he goes and he just walked out the room. But then the next scene, you can see Robin and. No, not Robin. You can see Finn and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
He's like crying, and he's like, "Did you do that dream thing?"
Yeah, and she's like, "It's not how it works. The dreams just come to me, like in Power Rangers. It just comes to me. You can't just manifest it."
And he's like, "Can you try, please?"
Yeah, please. And then they see the poster, right, of Robin's disappearance, and then
she goes and she gets out her little, I guess like a little Barbie house. And she has that stuff in there. She puts it on the ground. She does like a prayer to God.
Yeah.
She's like, "Can you please give me a sign or
and then
help my brother find Robin?"
Yeah, I think they get out of the school again, and then the bullies start chasing Finn, because Finn's now what's the word?
Yeah, no protection with
No
Robin.
protection. Yeah, Finn's no protection. So he's now, hey, we can beat him up now because he doesn't have his
bodyguard.
Yeah, his bodyguard, his Matthew Peters, per se. And then so they start beating up Finn, and then Gwen goes in with this fucking rock and fucking hits the fuck out of one of the bullies, and then the bully starts bleeding up his face, and then both Gwen and the bully are just sitting there like, what the fuck we just do?
Because they started beating up Gwen.
Yeah, they started kicking Gwen. They're like, they had no remorse.
So then Gwen just had to watch her brother get beat up, because by then at that point she was just beat up too. So Finn got his butt kicked.
And then what happens after that, Matt?
Yeah, it goes to.
I think we meet the grabber. I think it shows Finn leaving school again, because Gwen goes to.
It shows Donna. So it goes back to the school scene.
Yeah. Oh, we see Donna because
Finn likes Donna.
Yeah, Finn's like Donna. Donna's like his crush, because he just got beat up, right? Yeah, he just got beat up and we're at the chem class.
Yeah. So she goes, "Do you have a partner?" He goes, no, no. He's like stuttering. Mm-hmm. She goes, "Well, you do now."
Yeah, and then she's saying, "Yeah, those bullies are dicks, Yeah. You shouldn't have, they don't know what they're doing."
And he kind of smiles like.
Yeah, and then he tells Gwen about Donna.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then she's like, "Okay, I remember I'm going over to her friend's house." Yeah,
I think
Stephanie.
Friday. Yeah,
every Friday she goes to her friend's house. He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Yep.
She goes every Friday. I think you wouldn't forget about that, but you never know. Yeah. So then he goes, and then we see the van pull up again.
Yep.
And this time it's is he out there yet? The grabber's out there. He's just out there.
Oh, because you're right about the magic. Because that's how he got him, Finn. Because he goes, you want to see a magic trick?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and he's trying to show him the trick, and he pulls out them balloons.
Yeah, the black balloons. And he's like, are those black balloons? Like a dumbass.
Yeah. And then he goes and like puts them. He hides them in the balloons.
And then he has a little. Yeah, he tries to get him in the balloons, and then he has a rocket ship, and he stabs him, and he's like, "Ow, that really hurt." And that's straight from the 3 pages that I read. That is straight from the book. Straight everything that he just said straight from the book. Like he stabs them with something, and this little rocket ship with a light on it. I guess it's just like because NASA was very big back then, so I guess everybody was like into space. So yeah, he gets trapped with the grabber. And then Gwen finds out, right? After...
Yeah, so they get a call from Gwen. Dad calls Gwen at her...
at a friend's house,
At a friend's house, yeah.
Stephanie's.
And she goes, hey, do you know where Finn is? She goes, Finn should have been home already.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have a big search party for Finn.
And then it cuts... then it cuts to Finn.
Yeah, it cuts to Finn.
And then it's the first time we see the grabber, right?
The second time. Because the grabber...
Yeah, we saw the grabber... I forget what mask he had on the first time. Was it the smiling one? I think he had this one.
I think it was it wasn't the smiling.
Was it the blank face?
Yeah, it was the blank face.
So we go and then it shows the little area. It has a checkerboard pattern with one little vent gate open because it's like in the basement of this house, and then has one little bed. It has the black phone on the top right.
Yep.
Is there anything else missing that you can see at the first shot?
No.
Yeah. So. The black phone, the grabber comes in, and the grabber is played by Ethan Hawke. So Scott Derrickson brought Ethan Hawke again because he played him in the old horror movie. He was like, and Ethan Hawke said in his interviews that he didn't want to play like the bad old guy because that's like then he would have got typecast because Ethan Hawke was already 40 at that point.
Yeah.
So he's now 50, and he just played in Moon Knight, it came out like 3 months ago, and he just played like an old priest dude with long hair, so he was an old religious. Not old, he's not. Ethan Hawke still looks good for 50. Don't get me wrong, but he used to play. He played like a bad guy there, so now he's playing another bad guy. But he says like to embrace it, and it's not like a typecast because it's a completely different character for what he is in Moon Knight. And the mask, the first time we see the black mask, it was actually I was watching an interview. They had 50 prosthetic masks made. They had to sculpt the smiley face one, the sad face one, the one where it's blank face, so they can show different emotions. And Scott Derrickson said he wanted to keep the eyes because there's no point of casting Ethan Hawke. There's no point of casting Ethan Hawke if you can't see his face, you know? Might as well just cast anybody else. But he wanted the eyes of Ethan Hawke to show through because they really do shine through. But they had 50 different sculpts, and you know why they had so many sculpts, Matt?
Nope.
Because they had to make ones where it was just where people did stunts. They had ones where, you know how it looks like you can pull that part off so you can put the other part on?
Yeah.
They just look like that. Only some of them pull off. I think only one pulls off is what they said in the interview, if I'm not mistaken. Also, they had to make other sculpts since it was during the COVID when they filmed this. They also had to make this... what's the word? They also had to make some for the stunt doubles because they couldn't have the same mask because cross-contamination and stuff like that. You don't want to get your dude sick and then you're out for 2 weeks on a production that's probably already tight as it is, you know?
Yeah.
So that was an interesting detail I saw. And it, like that first mask, I think is, I don't know, they're all pretty creepy. Just either way, you have devil horns with a face, it's going to be creepy. And then he kind of just gives he don't really give an exposition, right? What does the grabber really say here?
Yeah, he said,
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, he says, Finn,
Yeah.
He says, Finn, Finn's there, and I really don't know what he says. Honestly.
You really don't know? He just tells him about remember he tells him that he can't scream, where you can't, like, it's soundproof. There's no, you can't.
Oh, yeah, Finn's like, what if, I'm going to try to escape.
Yeah, what if I scream?
Yeah,
what if he's trying to like say all these scenarios.
Yeah, he's like, what if I scream in the?
Why didn't you kill me?
Yeah, why don't you kill me? And yeah.
He's like, I don't want to kill you.
Then the phone, right? He looks at the phone and he picks it up.
And then nothing happens.
He goes, the phone don't work.
Yeah, Ethan says the phone don't work, but he can hear it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if kids can only hear it or Ethan. He said, I know later on they say Ethan pretends not to hear it or the grabber. But I don't know. Maybe he can hear it. He's just sick and twisted and doesn't want to hear it. But then the granted is the black phone, which we'll get to later. Do you want to explain the black phones? I guess we'll explain the black phone details now. The black phone, how it works is. You want to go ahead, Matt?
Yeah. So the black phone, basically, when there's these ghosts that were past kids that were captured by the grabber and they were killed. So they basically call on the black phone and they try to warn Finn
Of what they did wrong.
Yeah, what they did wrong, so that Finn doesn't make that same mistake and he can actually try to survive.
So I don't know what a black phone's there. It's not really explained. It's kind of just sitting there. So I'm thinking more of it's like that's like the mystical tool. Maybe I'm not really. They don't really go into much detail. You kind of just have it. It's there for plot purposes.
Yeah.
And I think it worked. It doesn't bother me at all. We don't need an explanation why ghost kids come out of a phone.
Yeah.
We just realized that Gwen can see ghosts. So there's no reason to try to go into it. It works for itself, and I think it works really good for this movie.
Yeah.
But he explains to him, and then after that, Gwen finds out, and then we see the black phone again, right? Yes. He comes back in, and he gives him food, right? Because he's hungry.
Yeah, so the phone rings. Well, Finn's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So the phone starts ringing, and he goes up. He's about to go answer it, but then he sees the grabber sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And the grabber has that smile on his face.
Yeah, he has a smile on this time?
Yeah, he has a smile on his face.
Oh, yeah, he only has this. Okay, go. Keep going, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought
he has the smile on his face. And he's sitting there, and he starts telling him, you've been a bad boy, or if you can be a good boy. He starts talking about the good boy, right?
Yeah.
If he's good and he doesn't behave.
Yeah, then feed you last.
Yeah.
You'll be here. Just, I guess, like, because he says him. He always talks about him.
Yeah.
Like, and I keep thinking it's because he always talks about him, but he never explains who him is. I think it's left to be interpretation. I guess with all the movies we fucking watch these days.
Yeah.
But I keep thinking it's his brother because we see his brother later on, Max. But it don't seem like it's Max because that makes no sense. It's not Max. It's not Max at all.
No.
We'll explain why it's not Max later on.
We'll explain who Max is.
Yeah, he'll explain all that. But it's not him because he keeps saying him. So what I'm assuming is maybe he's like part of this cult. And maybe it's like, because I got the white suit and he looks like he was going to leave. So maybe it's like, but then he kills them anyways. Yeah. So I'm not really sure without going into too much. I guess him is maybe the other thing in his mind that makes him like he's like has maybe like two different personalities. That's a good way to look at it. So like one is I'm just trying to think of reasons. Yeah, like the devil mask is his other personality, and but he always wears a mask. So maybe like when he doesn't have it, he's like, oh, I'm doing something right, I guess.
Yeah, because I know at the end,
like I'm punished. The reason is maybe it's I'm punishing these kids because they're doing bad things.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing bad things, then I won't kill you. But then he never switches to that point where he's not like, I'm gonna not kill you if you just be a good boy and sit there for a while. I guess.
Just behave. Yeah. So the grabber goes upstairs. So then the phone rings, and he goes and he walks up to it and he answers it. And he's like, hello? And there's just static. Hello? And there's just static. So he hangs up. Then the phone rings again. And he answers it. He says hello. And it's just static. He says hello again. And then finally he hears Finn. Or he says Finny.
Your arm is mint.
Yeah, your arm is mint.
And you're like, it's like,
you know exactly who that is.
Yeah, you're like, because it's the same voice, yeah. And we finally learn his name. He's like, Bruce, the guy. He's like,
I'm not Bruce.
And they don't remember their names.
Yeah. Maybe. That's what he said, maybe.
And then, he says maybe. And then, he lost his name. And he talks about, does he talk about it here, or do we see the Bruce baby scene next?
We see the Bruce baby scene.
Yeah, so kind of, I think it shows Gwen, like Gwen wakes up.
Yeah. Yeah,
it shows Bruce, shows younger Bruce, just basically like how he's growing up. And then I guess it shows like he had a family and stuff. It wasn't just like a loner type beat. And then it shows him getting caught. Like it finally shows him getting caught by the grabber.
Getting captured, yeah. How he got captured.
And then we go back, and afterwards, do we meet Gwen again yet?
No.
Yeah, so we go back to the phone again. He's like, and he's talking.
Because when they were on the phone with Bruce said, I went and there's a tile on the floor.
Under the checkerboard.
Under the checkerboard. And if you tear up this one, there's a hole that I was starting to dig. But I got caught. That's why I got caught doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go over there, the hole's already basically there. All you gotta do is pull up that tile, and
put in and find a way to hide it.
And if you keep digging out, you can keep digging until you get your way out.
Yeah. So I guess Bruce is like the worst at these strategies, obviously, because I don't know how much digging you're gonna have to do, but remember, you're
digging down.
You're digging down to go up.
Yeah,
like in Mario Party, that's not how you do it. You got to go to the open lanes and go that way. You know.
Yeah, it was a tough strategy.
Yeah. So.
I thought the worst one ever.
Yeah, it's definitely the worst one out of all.
No wonder he got caught.
Yeah, sorry, Bruce.
The grabber probably came down, saw a freaking pile of dirt, and was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. Bruce, you're probably good in the majors, but you definitely weren't good at problem solving.
Yeah.
But Finn figures out a strategy. He has a big carpet, right?
Yeah.
So he just throws the carpet over for the thingy to hide the.
Well,
no, he has the tile. He has to hide the tile.
Yeah.
There's carpets in there, but he just puts the tile back. He's not an idiot and leaves the tile open. Yeah. But granted,
he looks at the hole and puts the tile back down.
Yeah. Granted, but the grabber he never gets caught doing these things.
Yeah.
The grabber, I guess he wants him to. I'm not sure. The grabber never really goes out, which I was confused about. But it's more of like, hey, how do you escape? I think he likes the thrill of seeing how he tries to escape before he does it. Yeah. So again, I don't know how Bruce got caught. Bruce must have taken
maybe Bruce just ran up the stairs.
Yeah, probably. And then we see the grabber again, and the grabber's in this nice blue collar shirt. It's like with this time he has a different face on. I think he has a half face, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we see right. Am I wrong?
Yeah, because first the sister has that flashback, and she sees Finn crying for help. She sees him
we see Finn. Yes, Finn at the door trying to get out.
And she doesn't have enough. She just sees the house, but she didn't have enough details.
Yeah, all she sees is the door frame.
Yeah, just the door frame. So there's not enough details to know. So she goes and she starts riding her bike around trying to find the door, but she couldn't find it.
Yeah, because every like model houses back then were mix and match, so you kind of really can't tell if it's just a door, especially like a 10-year-old doing that. Yeah, so then we go back to the
basement.
To the basement with the nice blue collar shirt, like I was saying earlier. And Matt was like, "Why'd you write that?" I was like, "Do you see the shirt? Like, it's a nice shirt." So Ethan has his nice shirt on, his hair's all out, and he
has breakfast.
Yeah, he has
a plate of eggs.
Yeah, he has another breakfast platter. He's like, "Hey, you can go ahead and get this." And he's like, "You just got to be good. You got to be a good boy." And he's like, "So what's your name?" And in I forget what he says. Billy. He says Billy.
Billy. He lied. Yep.
Yeah, he said the name Billy.
Billy. No, it wasn't Billy.
It wasn't Billy.
No,
I think he said Billy.
It wasn't Billy.
It wasn't Billy.
Nope.
Okay, I know we see Billy later on, but I'm pretty sure Finney says his. I think he says his name's Billy.
Because he goes and he's asking, "Are they looking for me?"
Yeah.
And the grabber goes, he didn't really answer. He basically implied they weren't. Maybe he said it's interesting.
Yeah.
And, so he asked for the name.
Yeah. Well,
Billy lied.
Yeah.
Billy.
It's Billy. He says Billy.
Fine. We'll say he said Billy. So the grabber throws him the newspaper.
And he's like, "You lied to me."
Yeah.
And then maybe it is a sad face he has on this time, because that would make a little sense. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because then he threw the eggs on the floor.
Yeah, he threw the eggs on the floor. He's like, "If you're a good boy, you could have been good. I thought you were
I thought
good.
you were different."
Yeah, I thought you were different. And it is a sad face. Yes, I'm for sure. Because it's like blue with blue. Because he has the sad face.
I remember you saying that.
The sad face has a blue one.
Yeah.
The red one has the red is happy. So he's sad because blue, moody. It's kind of like in theater, like back in the day when they didn't have like mics. They would just have big faces so you can see like expression if you couldn't hear them. So that's kind of what I think Scott Derrickson and the team was trying to figure out was how to show expression without showing face, and that's a good way they did it. And because like blue is like, it's in art, it's known for being sad, and red's also known for being mad.
Yeah.
So he goes upstairs. And he leaves the door open, and me and Matt were
door
like,
locked, yeah.
Yeah, the door unlocked, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, yeah, he left the door open on purpose.
Yeah. Because they kind of did, like, you can hear the sound the first few times he was in the basement. You can hear the latch, and you can see the little latch on the inside.
It's kind of like you never seen Texas Chainsaw, but have you seen the remake?
Yeah, I've seen the remake.
Well, when they close the door and it's like really loud,
yeah.
That's kind of what I think they were evoking there.
Yeah, so when he did it this time, it wasn't as loud. You didn't hear that latch. So you're like, okay, that's the first thing you notice in the scene. You're like, okay, he didn't lock the door. So then I think Finn realized that, and he goes and he's walking up to the door, and then the phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns around. He's like, man, Then we go answer the phone. So he goes, he answers the phone, and he says hello.
And it's Billy. It's Billy this time.
Yeah, it's Billy this time. And he goes,
Don't go upstairs.
don't go upstairs. That's the first thing he says. He says, don't go upstairs.
He's waiting up there with the. I don't think he says with the belt, but he says he's up there, and then we cut.
He wants you to go upstairs.
Yeah, we cut to Ethan upstairs, and he has his shirt off with
the little belt in his hand.
With the little belt in his hand.
He's just waiting.
He's waiting. He's waiting to smack to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. So Billy's like, don't go upstairs. So what's he hangs up.
Yeah.
Finn hangs up.
And then Finn starts creeping upstairs. I'm like, Finn, don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
This is like one of the ones where they want you, the audience, to like get just like, hey, stop.
You don't want to. You want to see it. You don't want to see Finn go and do this. It kind of reminds me of Fresh. I don't want to spoil too much of Fresh, but the main character kind of keep like you want her to get out, but it keeps taking time before she goes out, and then eventually
you don't want to make a wrong move.
Yeah, you want to do it at the right time, not now.
So Finn goes up, and he's like right there, dude. It's like a right angle. You're straight, and then Finn's right there at the wall, and he turns around and goes back downstairs and shuts the door.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, that's like a relief moment.
Yeah, it's a relief moment, and then what is it? He gets the food.
He starts scraping the eggs.
Yeah, he starts scraping the eggs. The food. The grabber don't come in again today. He's like, okay, Billy didn't do it. I think he falls asleep because he just sits there until someone comes, and because he likes to see the freaking what is it? He likes to see them try to escape. He doesn't like he says, he likes to see him be a naughty boy. So if you're not being a naughty boy, you'll be fine.
Yeah, he basically, if you behave yourself,
you behave
everything
yourself,
will be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then
it's Gwen and the dad.
Well, no, it's the phone scene again. The phone rings again.
Mm-hmm.
So when he goes back downstairs, the phone rings again, and it's Billy on the line.
Yeah,
so
Billy.
He answers, and he's like, "There's a cable under the wall, on the wall to your right." And he goes, "I put it under there. I didn't know how to use it, but it's under there." So Billy goes, "What do I?" Or not Billy, freaking Finn goes, "What do I use it for?" And he goes, and he has a bottle. This bottle starts spinning around on the floor. I guess it was from the breakfast.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little trippy scene. There's a lot of trippy scenes in there. So you don't know if maybe it's from like lack of hydration or it's just the world that they're in, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of like maybe he's hallucinating because like he's been there for probably a couple of days already without proper food. He's had eggs and sparkling water.
Yeah. So the bottle starts spinning and it like angles at the door at the window.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Oh, okay, I can use this to get to the window."
Yeah. So then he gets the carpet rolls, right? Because they're in the corner where the laundry room's not a laundry room, but the toilet's at, right? And then he pulls that to the side, right?
Well, first Gwen. It's Gwen. It goes back to Gwen. Gwen sees the house, so she has that dream.
I see. Yeah.
It cuts to the dream. I think first it cuts to Billy, and it shows the little flashback of Billy.
Oh yeah, Billy,
Billy.
with the little Denver Broncos jacket. Wonder why he got freaking murdered.
So it shows what happened to Billy. So
especially after tonight, you can see. We're recording this on week 3 of Sunday Night Football, so just so you know.
So then he wakes up. Gwen wakes up, and she sees. She saw the house this time where Billy was, or not Billy, where Finn was at. Yeah, Finn was at. So she goes. She's like, okay, I saw the house this time. So
she still tries to look, and it still can't find it.
I think she goes to her dad this time, right?
Oh yeah, she tells her dad, and she's like.
It's like a one-on-one moment, and she's like, "Dad, can I ask you something and promise you won't get mad?" He goes,
and he's like,
"Yeah."
He's like, "Yeah," but he like takes like a deep breath before he does it.
And she goes, "It's about the dreams."
And he's like, "Didn't we talk about this?
Yeah.
Is this where Mom gets brought up here?"
Yes.
Yeah, so Mom, like we've mentioned to Mom, like she said we passed, but they would always harass her about her visions. Not sure why. Probably because like detectives usually like they're. Either way, it was bad for her mental health, which I think it would be knowing all that you know, and she ended up committed suicide, or that's what's implied.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah. So she says, "I don't want you doing that same thing," and she's like, "I'll be fine. Like, Dad, don't worry." And then so they go and drive around the house drive around the neighborhood with the truck, and then they don't find her.
Yeah, it was a cool shot too. I like the shot they had. Because they showed Gwen with like the water. You can see the water in her eyes as they're driving. Because she's like, man, I want to find this house. And then the dad's like, you can see him looking around. So it was like they were both he was actually trying to look for the house.
Yeah, he was like he's not. Even though he's
they portrayed him as the bad guy at the beginning, but
yeah,
really
but
not.
he's like he still cares about his family, obviously. And I forgot to mention, but every time we see a flashback scene, like it's like in grainy footage, and it kind of reminds me of in Sinister when they show like the family trips. That's the best way to put them. You would know I'm talking about if you see Sinister. The family trips, they film them in Super 8, and they actually filmed them in Super 8. So I'm wondering if they filmed this, if they put a filter over this grainy shots, or they actually filmed it in that grainy thing. That's something if I ever got the opportunity to interview Scott Derrickson ever, I would want to know if that was actually filmed in like that grainy footage. I'm pretty sure it was filtered. That'd be easier on the budget. But it'd be cool if that was the case, because those shots look really cool. Because it obviously, when you see different shots in the movie, it makes it more.
It makes it feel more horror-like.
Yes, exactly. Or just different,
Different,
different's better sometimes.
It keeps you invested.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Max and the detectives. So the detectives are looking, and because they're looking around, and they're like, they're knocking at every door basically, and they see this. They knock at this house, and it's Max. And I was like, when I first saw Matt, I was like, Matt, this is Max. Like, or I saw Max, right? And I'm like, this guy seems important. We just don't see Max just to see Max,
Yeah.
So Max is brought up pretty late in the movie, and Max is played by another guy from Sinister. He's Deputy So-and-so. So, again, without revealing too much, since I was like, I recognize this guy, but I didn't say that. Usually I say I recognize this guy, Matt, in the movie. But this time I was like, I recognized him, but I didn't recognize him until after I was looking up the cast. And so Scott Derrickson really got his people for, at least the adults, for reliable people for another horror movie. And I think that really worked, because the more your director's better, like chemistry wise. So we see Max, and Deputy So-and-so is the detective that helps out Ethan in that movie. And in the second movie, he's like the main character of that movie, and his name is still Deputy So-and-so. Like, his name is Deputy So-and-so.
Oh, that's his actual name.
No, it's not his actual name. That's what they call him. Because Ethan in the movie, he's like, okay, you can be my Deputy So-and-so. So like in the book credits, like once he finishes the book, he'll write Deputy So-and-so. So in the end credits, it shows Deputy So-and-so, and in the next movie, it shows Deputy So-and-so. He never gets the last name.
Huh.
Yeah, it's funny. But I recognized him from that. But this time he has a mustache. The first time we see him is snorting up some freaking coke. And then the detectives see him. Oh no, actually not the first time we see him. We see him, and he's like has like this whole like board, like detective board of like how to. Board. He's trying to figure out where they are exactly. He's saying the killer has to be somewhere in this town,
in this area,
because in order to get them without anybody seeing in the broad daylight, you got to be.
It's basically their neighborhood.
Yeah, it has to be in the neighborhood. Yeah. It can't be past this place, because I guess he's really been working on this, and when coke keeps you, like drugs keep you up, so he's been. So the detective's like, okay, until you find the actual house, don't worry about it. And I was like, and when they knock at the door, Matt, right? We see the shot, right? I'm like, that's the house, Matt. That's the house.
Of the door.
Yeah, and I was like, he has to be because it's the same exact door.
Because what you think when they open up that door, it's going to be the killer.
Yeah, it's going to be Ethan, and then Max pops up.
Yeah,
and I'm like, because he talks about him upstairs.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking about, is he the main evil guy somehow? Is he like the higher power that Ethan speaks to? And that at least that's the theory I had going on at first. And I was like, he has a nice blue shirt. What if they're the blue shirt crew? That wasn't funny, Matt?
No.
I thought it was funny. Fuck you.
Yeah, funny.
So the detectives are like, until you find a real case, go ahead and clean that up. And then he's like, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
So the detectives leave. And then he starts storing more coke.
He's like, tell your roommate to clean that up.
Yeah, which is weird. He says roommate?
Yeah, he says roommate.
Oh, yeah, because he says roommate because it's just him there, but he's, what's the word? He's oh, no, they probably both live there, actually. Yeah, they both live there.
Yeah.
They both live there, well, we'll explain it later on, but they both live there.
Yeah.
But it's just him there. So, yeah, Max is the one who opens the door. So then it goes back to the shot, right?
The basement.
Yeah, the basement. You want to go ahead and lead this one?
Yeah, so they're in the basement. And he has the rope now.
Yeah.
He went and he got the rope. And he also has that carpet that was laying against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and he's like, okay, how am I going to get up to pull that thing off the wall? So he goes up there, and he ties like a hook into the rope,
Mm-hmm.
and he throws it, and he pulls it.
Yeah, he has like little little steps to get up there.
Well, no, first he throws it, and he's trying to pull the thing down, and he couldn't get it hooked on it was like a window guard.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get it hooked on the window guard. So he's like, man, this ain't gonna work. So he laces the rope through the carpet, through the inside of the carpet, because the carpet was rolled up. And it was a smart idea because he kept it straight. So he put it on there and he kept pushing it up and it looped back down through the little guard hole. So he had it from the top and he held it from the bottom so he could pull it. So he was pulling it.
And then then he tried to get up, right? And then does he fall on his ass yet, or does he get the knots first?
No. So he goes, okay, this ain't working. So let me take the carpet out. So he pulled the carpet down through the bottom of it. So then he has this. So he starts tying knots in the rope to create steps.
Yeah.
So then he creates the steps.
And he has really good angle. I guess that freaking fastball slider was working with him because, like, how he gets that little knot into the other side, it's like, that's like an impossible thing to do with that little thing. That's like trying to, like, open a window. But, yeah, he ends up getting it. And then he gets the knots and he tries to go up, right?
Yeah, he starts trying to go up.
And I was expecting a jump scare here. I was expecting Ethan to freaking, like,
because the dramatic music, dude. The music was getting dramatic.
It's always, like, intense situations, the music's always hyping it up. So you're expecting, what's the word? He ends up you're expecting Ethan to come out. He doesn't come out, and he just falls on his ass, goes to sleep. Next scene, right?
Yeah, it was like a black screen.
And then I think he just wakes up again, right?
Yeah, he wakes up.
And then we see you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so he's laying there, and you see this dripping sound. And he's like,
and then he turns around. Yeah.
Yeah, so then he goes, and he's like, he hits his flashlight, the little one you were talking about earlier.
The little spaceship.
The one they stabbed him with? Yeah. So he goes and he starts tracing it along the walls. He's like, okay, where's this dripping sound coming from? And he goes into the corner, and there's this body just spinning.
It's upside down.
Upside down, like creepy, like reversed upside down, spinning in circles, and it's like going real quick, and you see the blood dripping off of it, and then the phone rings.
Yeah. And then he calls, and he's like, what's the word? He says, I don't know the name of this character.
Vance.
Is it Vance? Yeah. It shows Vance. Is it Vance? I don't think it's Vance. Not yet. It's someone else. Is it Billy again?
No, it can't be Billy.
It's somewhat a bike. I swear I have his name here somewhere.
No, you're right. It's not Vance.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and just describe what's happening? I'll see if I can find a name.
Yeah, so he goes and he's spinning in circles. So he goes to try to answer the phone.
You don't remember what happens, Matt?
It's the combinations. So he goes and he goes, okay. He left the door unlocked again, the grabber.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes, when he goes up, he goes, you can go upstairs right now. Take your chance. Maybe it is Billy again. So he goes, you can go upstairs right now if you take your chance.
Yeah, because I think it has to be Billy because it's the one with the paper boy.
Yeah.
I think this is, it shows maybe the backstage scene here again. But yeah, it shows he's a paper boy. He had his dog.
Yeah.
It's a paper boy. I'm not sure if it's Billy. I'm pretty sure it's Billy. But
I think it's Billy.
Yeah.
Because
we mentioned the Billy a lot here. Billy's been getting shine here.
Yeah. So he goes and he's like, there's a combination you on the lock. He goes, what's the combination? He goes, I think I wrote it on the wall with a bottle cap. So he goes and he's like, which wall? Which wall? And he's like, you think he says like it's shoulder height to the left. Yeah.
He's got because he's yelling because like I'm trying to get out of here.
So he goes and he uses his flashlight and he finds it. He goes, I found it. It's 23317. He goes, in what order? What order?
23, 317, 17, 20. Like he's trying to say all these combinations. Like he's like, I can't remember. I just know those numbers. Like when I got up there, I couldn't. I couldn't get it.
He's like, you gotta remember. And he goes, he finally says 23317. He goes, that sounds familiar. So he goes, okay, when I go up there, no, that's not how it goes. He goes, you're right. He never confirms the combination order.
Yeah, he never.
So he goes.
Go ahead.
So he goes and he's you have to try them all. I can't remember, but you have to be quick and try not to be too loud. So Billy goes and he hangs up. Finn hangs up the phone.
Yeah.
So Billy starts walking up the stairs quietly, and he sees the grabber to the left.
Yeah, he sees the grabber and he
has the belt in his hand.
And Matt's thinking like, why doesn't he just stab him or whatever?
Yeah, well, he walks right by him.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'll just try to get out of there because you can have the cops Because in that case, what you can do, like, you can stab him with that freaking thing that you just stabbed him with. I mean, granted, it was pretty sharp. It stabs a pretty good shit through his arm.
Neck or something.
Yeah, but even then, you'd have to get so much force to do that. I don't think it's that sharp.
I mean,
you can grab
when he's asleep, you get whatever punch or whatever you do first is what's gonna happen first. He's not gonna be able to counter it. So you get that free attack. I feel like I personally in that situation am not going to the door with a lock on it with a combination that I'm gonna have to try multiple times.
Yeah, but granted, if you don't kill him there, then you're dead.
I'm gonna make if you get one of the combinations wrong and you make a noise and wake him up, you're dead either way.
Yeah, but if you get the combination right, then you just get out of there and nothing happens. Well, he does get the combination right.
You would think. So what happens is he goes up to the door, and he starts trying the first combination. He pulls the lock. It doesn't come undone. You go and it made noise. So he tries the second combination. He does it again. He makes noise, and it was a little louder. So he starts looking around. He's like, oh shoot. So he tries the third combination. And he pulls it, and it comes undone. But then you hear the dog, and then you see him.
Samson.
You hear the big gasp. So then he hurry up, takes it off, and he starts running down the street.
Yeah, he starts running down, and it's like in this dark shot. And then I think you described it best.
Yeah, so the grabber wakes up. The dog's barking at the door. The grabber goes. He gets in his van. He comes out. He makes a right turn. He sees Finity just running down the street. So a van's faster than a car. He goes and he cuts him off, knocks him on the ground with the van.
And then he gets him on the ground, right? And he's like,
he's on top of him.
He's like, if you scream a freaking word, or a fucking word, you're gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And
so
he just
they're waiting there until
the lights all turn on, and then
yeah.
they all start turning off because they're like, okay, no one's here. No one even comes outside. They're kind of dicks.
Yeah.
So probably a good thing though, because I feel like one of them came out, he would just been like, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like, what is it? Finn's like, fuck, like I got captured. Yeah. Then he takes him back to the house.
In the basement.
Yeah, in the
basement. Throws him on the bed.
Yeah. And he's like, you've been a naughty boy. You're dead. Does he say you're dead tomorrow?
No.
You don't say that, but he's implied.
He goes, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
That's what he says. I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah. I thought you were
different.
Yeah, I thought you were different.
Yeah.
He's been saying that, but he was really reiterating there. So then we get Gwen again. We see another shot of Gwen, and she's getting mad at Jesus, right? She's like,
yeah, she starts talking to God again.
She's like, Jesus, well, like, are you even freaking real? Give me a sign.
Yeah.
He's like, Jesus has been giving you a lot of signs, girl.
Yeah.
You just got to put them together.
Yeah, really. So then it cuts back to Finn, and the phone rings.
Mm-hmm, and it's Vance Hopper this time.
Vance Hopper.
And then it does this one. I think Vance talks about it. He's like Vance, I was scared of you.
Yeah.
What you got? Then he says you got lost again, and then it cuts like a little pinball. Right, it's him in the pinball area, he's at a pinball area. He's like playing this game, and he's trying to beat the high score.
Yeah.
And then this kid comes up to him, I guess.
Yeah, and he bumps the pinball machine.
Yeah, and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Because they're horsing around.
Yeah. They're horsing around, and he was like about to reach 10,000 or something like that.
Yeah, 10,000.
I was like, bruh. So I'll be a little pissed off too. Like he's gonna be his own high score. Then when we're seeing the flashback scene, it's in again grainy footage, and you see Gwen. I even pointed out, man. I was like, that's Gwen right there. Yeah. So I guess she was dreaming this in the shower. I think actually she cuts a little later.
Yeah.
So we and when he's fighting the boy, he like stabs him in the arm, and it says the combination.
The house address.
The house address, which is
7741.
7741. Yep, you're right about that. And
that's the hint. Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, Gwen don't even see it either.
Yeah.
Does she recognize 741 yet?
No.
But we see it. I remember seeing it. I was
that's our hint to us.
I was like, that's important.
Yeah. And I was like in that moment, I was like, yeah, that's the. I bet you that's the house address.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, you said that more than me.
Yeah.
And then
Vance the police come and put Vance in the car.
And then he somehow gets led to the house, or gets dropped off at the house.
So this was a cool scene, right? Because what Vance is talking on the phone, it's talking to Finn, and she can hear Finn talking because she's in that dream. So when he's like, it's over there, it's like we already heard that, but directly he's talking to Finn on the phone, and he's talking about the numbers on the wall. but he's also talking about to Gwen. It's the hint to like that's the house.
Yeah, and then it has him leaving the police car, which I think this is more of a dramatization. I doubt the police actually just said, "Hey, you can go right here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was showing the house.
Mm-hmm. It shows the house,
Then
and it shows
it shows a close up on the house address.
Yeah. Does it show him getting captured here yet?
No, it doesn't.
Does it show him at all? Actually,
no, it doesn't. It just shows him getting dropped off at that house.
Yeah, I think. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Because because it shows him getting dropped off at the house, and then it zooms in on the house address.
I guess we don't really see because Vance. The only time we see Vance is the upside down dead body.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Because
We don't see every other dead kid get murdered. No, we actually don't see all the dead kids get murdered.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't. Well, no, I think Vance is the only one we don't see. We see Vance at the house, but then we don't see him again. I know there's another shot of him at the house with the balloons. So maybe somewhere in between there's that shot. Because there's another shot with him with all the balloons at the house at the 7741 address. So maybe he was right there, but it could be somewhere else.
Maybe it was later.
No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't that much later if it was there.
Because I know it cuts back to Finn, and Vance is on the phone.
Yeah.
This is after Gwen found out the house address. So Vance is on the phone. He's like, "Dude, I almost got out. I was trying to go through the storage room, through the freezer." And he's like, "Where's the storage room?"
He's like behind the wall. You gotta break through.
He's got to break through the first layer of the drywall. It costs a lot to replace. So it's just a little thin layer of drywall.
Yeah, so damn, he must be bankrolling with kidnapping these kids. Maybe from the higher power, he's getting more money.
Yeah.
So, because he has this whole little setup. He has double plumbing. Like that's a small house in the 80s. But I guess rented house to house was like way less back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes and he grabs the toilet head. And he starts just smashing it against the wall, trying to break through. And finally, it goes and it shows him working on it for a bit. And it cuts to, you see this metal box, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, it's the panel to the freezer. So he needs a screwdriver.
Yeah, and also,
he's trying to use his little rocket ship. It wasn't working. So he grabs he takes the toilet apart, which was cool. I like that.
Oh,
and
yeah, it shows
he
that
got the
he's
little
like...
washer. Yeah, he got the washer, and he used that as the screwdriver.
Mm-hmm. You're right. I forgot about that scene, but it shows that he's like,
using his resources.
Yes, he's using resources, and he's learning more as he goes. Or maybe he has like the survival instinct that they probably didn't have. Or maybe they did have. Maybe Vance thought of that as well, and we're just showing that he survived his time, I guess. So I wonder how he got out. Yeah, I guess it would have been cool to see how Vance died. Because, if Vance did get to the freezer, what happened? Did they open the freezer and he just fucking, cocked him in the face? Or did he get out and then he cocked him,
Yeah, he never said.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I guess, but...
Unless he came downstairs.
While he was going there and he just closed it and he just freaking got froze to death?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying he saw him. He came into the basement, saw him coming through that side.
Oh,
I see. I caught doing it like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see how he died.
Yeah,
I'd like to see the extended version just to see how they died.
Yeah.
Just show their clips.
So basically, so Finn goes and he gets into the freezer and there's a bunch of T-bone steaks.
Yeah, a lot of T-bone steaks. Like this dude has money. That's a lot of T-bone steaks. That's like, I never bought T-bone steaks like that, but I know they're at least $10 minimum for every one he has.
Yeah.
And there's a good 100 in there.
Probably 20 now.
Yeah. And then he tries to do that, and he kept trying to push in, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just a big lock on it. It shows why it's not opening because that big giant lock on the front of it.
I'm assuming he didn't have a lock on there previously.
Yeah.
And then, do we cut back to?
Well, he starts crying, right? Because he's like, man, he starts crying against the wall, and they hear the phone ring. He starts hearing the phone ring. And
he doesn't want to get out, but he ends up getting there, and he's like, he answers it, and he's like,
hello.
He's like, I forget what he says, but he's making this motivational speech, and he's like, Robin, is that you? He's like, is that my name? Yeah, but I'm the one that helped you out, whatever. Are you still being... Because he told him earlier, you got to step up. You can't just let them beat you.
Yeah, he goes, this is the time, Robin. No, this is the time, Finn.
Yeah, because Vance just told him he's going to die tomorrow. Yeah. Vance confirmed that.
Vance said you're going to die.
And then Robin's reiterating that. He's like, he's coming tomorrow to murder you.
This is the one time you need to stand up for yourself. You finally need to stand up for yourself. And he goes, I can't. I don't know how. And he goes, grab the phone. And put sand in the phone.
Dirt.
Put dirt in the phone. He goes, and then start step back, step forward.
Yeah,
swing.
he basically does like a tutorial of like how to dance to be cool. I mean, how to fight.
Yeah. So he's like, do these moves, do these. So there you go. It's a scene for like 30 seconds. He's just doing the move. He's telling them what to do. And then
Yeah, you could probably put Eye of the Tiger back there just to put some more emphasis on it.
Yeah. So he goes, and that scene, he goes, "You're ready, Finn." And he goes, he's like, Robin. He goes, I just want you to. I want to die and save at least one of my friends. I want to die for my friend.
Yeah. I don't want you die. I didn't want to die
for no reason.
Yeah, die for no reason. And then after that, I think we see Gwen again, right?
Yes. So Gwen's, after she saw the house address, she goes and she knew where he was.
Yeah,
she's riding her bike down the street, and she's riding her bike down the street. She sees the 5 boys that have died in the house.
there is one more person. I think we'll just call him Paper Boy. There is one more boy.
Yeah, it's the one that was upside down.
So let's do a count real quick.
Yes.
We got, in order, Bruce,
Billy, that third one.
the third one,
So
it's the Paper Boy for sure.
The Paper Boy, yes, Paper Boy.
We'll call him Paper Boy.
Yeah.
Then we got Vance and Robin.
Vance and Robin.
Because there's 5 boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another one. We figured it out by going through the movie. Wow, crazy.
Yeah, so she falls off her bike and she looks up and there's the house address. So she found the house. So she calls the detective.
Bikes back to her. Does she go anywhere else? Think so?
No, she just chills there.
Yeah, calls the detectives, and the detectives start pulling up, and then Max.
Yeah,
because
first Finn he starts prepping. He starts filling the phone with sand, dirt, and
then Max.
He goes and he has that hole already there, so he takes that tile off and puts the carpet over it.
Oh yeah, he's prepping to get ready to fight. Yeah,
get ready to fight.
Yeah, he like you said, he puts the hole on there. He's getting everything prepped. He has a little string.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
String to trip. He has a trip in the doorway. The string in the doorway.
And then he goes to Max.
Yep.
And then Max is there, and Max like, I figured it out. Well, the camera cut off, so let's get back to where we're at. So we're at Max. We see Max. He just figured out where the place is.
Yeah.
And then it shows the.
Yeah, it's like a dramatic scene. So it's the detective. You see them racing, trying to get to the house. You see Max, like, oh, he just figured it out. And then you see the grabber buying supplies for the killing, I guess.
Yeah, he has like this new white shirt and white.
Yeah, he's all
face, white. He's all white now. I guess to go to his higher power area. And then we see Max, right?
Yeah.
And he
doesn't believe it.
He doesn't believe it. And he goes to open the door. And then I think it intercuts to the detectives. I'm pretty sure, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm pretty
No, it doesn't. Because he shows Max. He's like, okay. He walks up to the basement door.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And he turns around and goes, no, I'm not going to open it. And he's like in a thinking face. And he goes, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. He's going to open it because when we find out, I'm like, okay. Yeah, well, actually not yet. So he opens the door, and Max goes down. He's like, I knew it. I figured it out. I didn't want it to be it, but I figured it out. And I guess he's still unsuspecting that's his brother. I don't think he knows it then. Like, when he says, he's like, maybe he does a little, but he's like, oh, I figured it out. And he's like, and as soon as he figures it out, freaking gets axed in the fucking head. It's a great shot. Yeah. And he's like, and then Ethan Hawke comes in. He's like sad. He's like,
look what you made me do.
Look what you made me do. I didn't want to kill my brother, but you were a naughty boy. Mm-hmm. And Finney's just sitting there with his phone, like, ready to go. And I think this one it cuts to detectives.
Yeah.
It cuts to detectives. They start going to the house, and they go, and they're like, we can't find anything.
Clear.
And then we go, and he's like, wait, I think I see something behind here. So they open the door, and they go down there, and they're like, this is where they hide the bodies. But we're expecting to see the basement.
Yeah.
And we're like, there ain't nothing there. What the hell? So then it cuts back. So you're thinking the detectives are about to get either mollywopped by freaking Axeman.
Yeah.
Or the grabber. Whatever he's going to use to kill them. But nah, the detectives are at the wrong house, apparently. So then they go and it cuts back to. So you're like, okay, well Finney's on his own now. Finn, and then Finn, right? He's about to. He pulls the cord off, right? Or the cord's already off.
The cord's already off.
Yeah, he pulls the cords off for like the thingy, and he's like, Finn runs, right?
Yeah,
he runs. He runs over the shit.
He jumps over that hole of the carpet because he knows there's a hole down there. The grappler don't. So he runs and he jumps over the carpet, and he's basically like, "Come get me."
Yeah, come get me. And then of course the grabber, without taking a second step, he goes and he runs and he trips over the wire that he put there, falls into the hole that Bruce dug, and then he just starts. He gets the phone and starts just mollywopping the fuck out of him. And then does he try to get out?
No, he grabs the cord and he wraps it around his neck, and he's just holding him there in that position.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to attack him, but then he just loses.
Well, actually, you're right. He does try to get out.
Yeah.
Because then he does that formation where he tries to throw that punch.
Mm-hmm.
Basically what he taught him. So he does that two-step, and he throws the punch, and that's when, with the phone in his hand. Mm-hmm. So I guess it was serving as like a knuckle.
Yeah. And
so,
he like fucking mollywops him, and he gets the thing.
Then he wraps him around.
And he wraps him around, and he just chokes the fuck out.
And then his friends are there, and they call on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, kill him.
Yeah, and they're all saying things. And I think Vance is like, I forget what he says, but it's not happy.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. I think he's like, fuck you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then ends up, he murders, like, it's basically like for all of them through the phone.
Yeah.
And then
he kills them.
The
next snap.
Yeah, great. It was amazing.
Perfect portrayal.
Perfect. We saw the bloody scene with the head chop, so it was okay to get a satisfying kill. He did. I think he did have. Yeah, and then with the white suit, like the white shirts he had on, it was to show more blood. I think it's the reason they put the white stuff on him, because when he stabbed him with the blood, it showed, it popped more.
Yeah.
And then Then it goes to the detectives. They come out, or no, he comes out. He just comes out, right?
Because he had to clear the dog out of the doorway, so he picked up one of them T-bones, the million T-bones.
It shows a little area, shows like a pan shot of the area.
Yeah.
Then he goes up the stairs, opens the combination, goes out the door, and Gwen's looking because she just figured out, oh, he's not in there. So where is he? And they're like, yeah, they have to be somewhere, you know. And then Finn comes out and he just hugs his sister, and then it goes to, is it 2 weeks? Is there a pan shot of them saying like time passed, or
I don't think so.
Yeah, well,
I assume it was probably a bit. I don't know how you get back to school immediately.
But what I figured out, and I told Matt, oh, that's trippy. They have two houses that are. They say in the little the thingy, they say he had two houses where he stood at. One was or two houses that he owned. The one where he lived at, where he trapped the kids, and the other one is where he buried the kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, when Max was there the first time, I was like when the detectives came in, I thought for sure those detectives were getting killed. But nah, that was like trippy as fuck as me at first. But then once you see it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. That's why they couldn't find him the first time. And then Dad hugs them. He's sad. They're all thanky. And then I think the best thing happens.
Yeah.
He goes, right? And I guess there is cool hallways everywhere you go, because freaking Finn walks down the hallway and everybody's like, is that Finn? Everybody, because he's cool now. Either go pay a girl or murder somebody. You can get famous. Easy ways to walk down the cool hallway, Matt. And then he goes to the chem lab, right?
Yeah, I remember that. He goes to the lab and he sits down and she goes, it was Donna again.
Yeah, he's like La Bamba here. Oh, okay, let's go.
She's like, you killed him. You killed the.
Yeah, he's like no, I think he's like, hey Donna, how you doing? And then it just ends.
That's right. He goes, hey Donna, with all confidence.
Yeah, he's all confident now. He's not like, oh yeah, I just fucked this dude over. Yeah. So he's happy. I think it's a great way to end it. It's fun for kids, or like not kids, but like it's like the little kid dynamic, kid relationship, I guess. Yeah. If we had after reviewing it, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it when I watched it. I thought it was me worse than it was, and when I was definitely happily wrong. There's so much that goes into the movie. There's things where it's like, that's kind of weird. I wish I had more explanation, but maybe in I don't want a prequel. I don't know what I would want, but somewhere maybe they can explore this world some more with the higher power, I guess. But Ethan's already dead, so you know. But you never know, spirits and stuff. Okay, Matt. This is the ratings. What do you want to put it over out of 100?
I give it a 83.
I give it a. This really doesn't matter. Don't take our ratings too seriously.
Mine are serious.
87. I think 87.
83.
Maybe 90. Maybe 90. I really enjoyed this movie.
No, because you're saying this movie's the second best out of all the movies we've done.
Yes, I think it is too.
I don't think it is.
Well, that's okay. It's our opinions. You can write yours in the comments whenever you feel like it. So you can find us on the DMPOD at YouTube and TikTok, and you can find us on the DMPOD _ on Twitter and Instagram. You can find Matt on
the Peters Won't Stop podcast
on all all audio platforms, as well as the DMPOD. Subscribe to our YouTube, and goodbye. Be safe.